Fear is the major tool of control. Fear is can be used as the emotion of fear, to trigger the emotion of fear. It has been used as a tool of psychological warfare. So in other words, war, there's been times in human history where a war was physical. There would a physical conflict would take place. But nowadays, not so much. Nowadays, wars are fought in the mind. In other words, it's mental warfare, it's psychological warfare. And one of the preeminent tools used for psychological warfare is the use of fear to stimulate a person in a particular way till they begin to experience a level of fear. Why is it important? Because fear compromises the intellectual processes. In other words, and you can't be fearful and think logically and critically at the same time. See, fear ultimately causes people to go into fight or flight. And when you go into fight and flight, this is a subconscious program that we all have as a human species. It's an aspect of human psychology. It's subconscious. To go into fight or fight. When you go into fight or fight, you're not thinking critically. You're not asking the question who, what, where, why, and how. You're just basically trying to survive. Now, what mass media does is it issues programming to cause people to always believe that they're just in a constant state of survival. And how is this done? Well, there's a 4-step process. Number 1, you traumatize people. Number 2, out of the trauma, people become fearful. Number 3, once people become fearful, they begin to externalize power. Number 4, once they externalize power, they are maintained in a state of control. It's all psychological. Nothing physical actually has to take place. Now, evidence or proof of this. If you go on any media outlet, any news agency, if you will, CNN, BBC, Reuters, Fox, RT, you can also go to any alternative media outlet, InfoWars, any alternative media outlet, and look at the headlines. You will find that the headlines are all based upon trauma, death, destruction, war, and gore. Death, destruction, war, and gore. The headlines are always centered around those 4 things. And the reason why is because death, destruction, war, and gore traumatizes people. Once a person is traumatized, they become fearful. Once they become fearful, they begin to externalize power. Once they externalize power, that's how you maintain people in a state of control. Nothing physical actually has to take place. It's all psychological. So when we talk about in terms of the media manipulation that is taking place around the world, much of the manipulation is centered around causing people to feel fear. And if you can keep people in essence, we live globally, we live in a culture of perpetual fear. We're always fearful of Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden. We're fearful that the young lady won't look at us and think that we're attractive. We're fearful that we're going to lose our job. We're fearful that, something bad's going to happen always. But why are we always fearful? We're fearful because we've been traumatized. We maybe have been traumatized when we were a child, abandoned by our fathers. So now we always think that a man is going to abandon us when we come of age as a woman. We may have been traumatized by our mother, and then we think that, then when we deal with women, when we get older, we treat them poorly. We wonder why. Well, it's because my mother traumatized me, and that's why now I traumatize women. But it all comes out of a particular trauma. Well, guess what? Mass media traumatizes us every single day, 24 hours a day. Go and look at the headlines, ladies and gentlemen, and just do an analysis. What's being reported on? Death, destruction, war, and gore. To traumatize people, to make people fearful, to cause people to externalize power, and that's how we're maintained in a state of control.